Vitally important to see the effects of that car crash on Errol Spence and the strategy of Danny Garcia. We're underway, round number one. Spence pressing forward already, behind the jab. Garcia fires a right hand back. Garcia wants to dictate the pace. He normally takes the air out of the ball and will slow things down. He is content to counterpunch in most of his fights.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to, give a guy pressure in the first round when he's pressuring you. And Spence is really doing the right thing. This is how he fights. This is how he fights.
I agree 100%, Lennox. And Danny Garcia would be wise to take his time here and at least size up what Errol Spence has got and land when he can and defend himself when he has to.
Spence already able to land that jab to the body, and he is active with that jab. It's an effortless jab. Right hands to the body from Danny Garcia, able to land a few of his own.
Now, it's worth noting that Danny Garcia is 5-0 against southpaws. He's fought 5 southpaws, he's 5-0 against them. Now, he's never fought anybody exactly like Errol Spence, but, you know, it's a little feather in his cap right here. He's never lost to one.
Yeah, the last southpaw that he boxed against was
Ivan Redkach.
And he was practicing the right hand to the body, so I'm expecting the right hand to Spence's body right now, because he's been practicing that with the last southpaw, so he's going to do it with this one.
You know, Garcia able to block that left hand to the body. Errol Spence is the most accurate body puncher in boxing. He is able to land with that left hand continually, and Garcia able to block that. That could be significant in this fight. There's a shot that landed from Spence. Good combination.
Well, Spence landed, but Danny Garcia connected with a counter right hand left hook. So, you know, this is what Danny's good at. You touch him, he'll play tag with you really well. He doesn't want to sit on the ropes, I can tell you that, Brian.
Spence coming in with that left hand, charging hard, but you're absolutely right. Garcia will do subtle things that are sometimes difficult to see. Comes in with that right hand to the body, but he is able to respond and counterpunch effectively. He'll counter right hand, drive Spence back.
There's another example of it. Spence landed the straight left to the belly, and Garcia countered with the right hand up top.
Do you think he can hurt Errol Spence? I mean, everybody can hurt everybody, Joe, but, do you think he can actually land and hurt Spence?
It's hard to hurt Spence. He's been hit by, some of the best guys in the division. I've really never seen him hurt.
A lot of tension in this building, I can tell you that.
Yeah, but Danny Garcia, anytime he's throwing his punches with his body behind him. He knows how to use his weight.
He does. That's why Thurman said he's the hardest hitting guy he's been in the ring with.
Garcia able to land with the jab to the body. The left hand there from Spence. Spence is usually content to slow. And there's a right hand from Garcia, straight up the middle, able to land.
And Garcia's right hand is not coming straight. It's like a whipping right hand, and he throws it very well.
Yeah, he knows how to fight a southpaw, and Spence is again trying to put on that pressure, but he's got to be careful not to get clipped by a counter punch himself.
10 of his 15 landed punches were to the body, and sometimes they're hard to see, but even in that exchange you can see Spence is able to snake in a shot and land a good body shot on Danny Garcia.
You're right. When he goes to the body, he usually lands. It's rare that Errol Spence misses with a body shot.
And he outlands against everybody, Joe. It's remarkable. Like what he did against Mikey Garcia was incredible. But he just outlands everybody. He's probably going to outland Garcia. It's just a matter tonight if Garcia can do damage with the shots he lands.
You're right.
Yeah, but Garcia is a very tricky fighter, and he moves well, and he tries to set traps for his opponents. Just when you think you have him and you're getting him, he comes out with a punch, a left hook or right hand, or a body punch.
We will find, by the way, I hope Kate Abdo is up there recording the predictions now for Sean Porter, because we believe Sean is ready to make his predictions, so that's after round one. But, I'm sure there is information to be processed after round one. So, Lennox, you first. What did we learn in round one from the fitness of Spence and the strategy of Garcia?
No, I expect Spence to come out like this, and I expected Garcia to come out like he did. Like I said, he's going to pick his moments. He hasn't reached that moment yet. He's still checking out Spence and seeing what he can do, but he's just, warming up into the first couple rounds.
But Spence looks like Spence, doesn't he, Joe? I mean, that looks like Errol Spence.
Absolutely.
Right.
And that's kind of what I said going into this thing. And I agree with Sean. Give him a round. Let's see what what Errol Spence looks like exactly, and he looks like just that nice left hand right there. He looks like his old self. He's putting on pressure. He's taking chances. He's looking to win this fight. I don't see any hesitation in his style or his demeanor at all.
Right, you know, Spence, if you watch Errol Spence against either Kell Brook, Mikey Garcia, Sean Porter in the early rounds, you'd say, hey, this is competitive, he has his hands full. And then in the later rounds, he busted up Brook, made him quit, befuddled Garcia, and knocked down Sean Porter. So if this is what we see with Spence now, he usually gets better and better.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. It's a long-distance fight because both of these guys are very serious.
I thought that was interesting in the last few
not
seconds.
prone to get knocked out.
Right, like just to see Danny Garcia able to get physical, land a shot, drive Spence back. Again, that's a little more information to take here. And that's clearly after the bell. But we're going to go upstairs. And
who better to tell us what's going on in the ring between these two guys since he's been in with both.
And look, for Garcia's point, right, not to go away quietly. Indeed, there it is, 8-7 and punches landed for Danny Garcia after getting outlanded 15-9. Not that that means that the winner of the CompuBox numbers wins the round, but it can be indicative of what happened. And if you're a Garcia fan, I think you can be slightly heartened, Lennox, possibly, by what you saw there for at least that 30-second stanza.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I said, he's gonna pick his spots. The only problem with that, what he did, he hit him after the bell. You know, he tested the chin after the bell. You got to test the chin while the round is going on.
Garcia goes down.
No, that was a trip over the
yeah. It just got awkward and went down, of course.
Which happens all the time, most of the time, with when you get an orthodox boxer and a southpaw boxer. They always mix their feet up.
See, Danny Garcia's been real clever here right now, and look at him. He's coming in with the 1-2-1. He's starting off with the jab right hand and finishing with the jab. And that's kind of bothersome for Errol Spence right now.
Yeah, they're both going to the body. Again, Spence is the best in the world at throwing body shots. Look at that jab. It's beautiful as well. I mean, he's such a complete boxer. But there's a hard left hand by Errol Spence. Drives Garcia back.
To the body. He hit him to the body for sure. And Danny tried to counter and fell off balance.
Errol has deceptive power, doesn't he? I mean, he doesn't have that body where you think he's going to hurt you. It's a hard right hand by Garcia. But he is able to really lay the wood to you.
Yeah, he's putting his body behind his punches as well. He's launching that left hand from far and is coming far and is landing.
Spence is digging in.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything deceptive about Errol Spence's power, to tell you the truth. I think it's a proven commodity, and that anybody that's going to be in there with him, if you're a coach on the other side, you know that he's a dangerous guy at all times.
Well, it's an accumulation of power. You know, it's not Tommy Hearns on Pequeno Cuevas. You know, it's not he starts you with one shot. But obviously, look,
he can put you down.
Oh, look, he did it to Sean Porter. He did that late, but it was an accumulation of punishment. I mean, look at the physiques of the guy. You could say that.
See, I like what Errol Spence is doing right now. He's close to Danny. He's got his hands up high.
I don't think it's a factor at all.
Yeah, there's just a lot of talk about cut. There's a cut. There's a cut. We're like, oh, where is it?
But I'll tell you what. What's more threatening than that cut is the way Errol Spence is putting on pressure right now.
Yeah. And look, Errol Spence outlanding Danny Garcia only 10-9. And again, that's not the norm.
Yeah.
Let's go to Larry Hazard right now, see how he scores the first 3 rounds. Larry, how do you have it?
Well, you guys are doing a great job of analyzing this thing. I got Spence ahead 30-27. Danny Garcia is going to have to take a page out of Sean Porter's book and jump on top of Spence and take this fight into the trenches if he expects to win. Right now, Spence is having his way. I got him 3 rounds to 0 going out.
Larry, thank you very much. Yeah, look, that could be definitely the way. Possibly second round could go to Garcia. Joe Lennox, would you have any rounds going to Danny so far?
Not now. Like I said, you know, Spence is controlling the fight with his jab, and he's controlling the distance, and he's throwing good combinations. When you step in with the jab like that, Danny Garcia is just moving around. He's trying to find a way to counterpunch.
Good hook there by Garcia, at least landed slightly on the side, and there's a body shot, little right hand to the body and then the head.
To answer your question, it's hard to ever argue with Larry Hazard, and I completely agree with him. It's right now with Sean Porter, it's Errol Spence that is really pressing the action here, that's taking the fight to Garcia, and he's the one that looks like he's winning the fight.
And Angel said, look, don't give him so much respect, right? So he's asking him to get in there closer.
Oh, right, he understands what he's looking at right now.
Yeah, you know, the size difference, on the height difference really makes a matter difference as well, because, you know, with Errol's throwing that jab, you know, and Danny boxing against a guy that's a great jabber, plus he's taller and he throws a lot of punches, you know, it's kind of difficult for Danny to really focus on what he needs to do. What he needs to do is really come back with the punches like his father was saying. Don't give him those free shots. Don't step back too much. Better off stepping to the side, which he did.
And Errol Spence, Lennox makes that so difficult. He's so active. That jab is long, it's strong, it's snappy. There it is right there, bouncing off the head of Danny Garcia. And at any moment, he will throw that left hand to the body. There it is, a good uppercut as well. Then Spence is #1 in the welterweight division in punches per round. Punches landed per round, jabs landed, power punches.
And body punches.
Yeah, I mean, he is #1. His accuracy in his body shots, also #1 in a star-studded division. But yet you see punches landed 43-35. That's not a wide margin. Garcia tries with the right hand. Spence comes firing right back. Excellent work rate by Errol Spence. Right hand was blocked. And that to the body. Garcia stays active.
He goes back down to the belly and hits him really solid. I mean, he's got to do more of that if he wants to, you know, win rounds here, because right now Spence is outworking him.
Yeah, but it's amazing, Joe, to me, the CompuBox numbers are always so widely in favor of Errol Spence, even against Sean Porter, where Porter was throwing bombs. But the punch differential, the last 3 rounds has been by 1 punch. 8-7, 10-9, 13-12. And that means Garcia is in this fight. Now, that doesn't mean everything.
I mean, you can see the numbers, but when you're watching the fight, you're calculating who's winning.
Yeah, but also, look, Garcia's landing those shots, Joe, is what I'm saying. He's landing meaningful shots.
I know that, but I'm just saying, you can make an estimation by the end of the round who won that round, whether you look at a punch stat or not, can't you?
Absolutely. What I'm saying is, normally, even in a close round, like against Sean Porter, oh, that's a good hard left hand on Garcia. Spence would have this wide discrepancy. I mean, he just outlands everybody. And here, Garcia is able to stay in the fight. Now, I don't know if he's taken any rounds, and I think Spence is getting the better of it. But Garcia is very much in this. At least by the CompuBox, that's a little, the punches landed, it's a bit surprising.
Yeah, well, you know, the judges aren't privy to the punch stat numbers, so they have to actually make an opinion-based scoring.
Right.
What he normally does, which is block and counter, slip and counter. He just landed a nice uppercut hook out of that corner before he got off the ropes there. But Spence comes right back and gets everything back. So everything you touch him with, you know, and Garcia tries to counter, Spence comes back and gets it back again from you. So it's a give and take this round. But what should Garcia be doing more? I think he's got to hold his ground a little bit more and try to land some thudding hard shots, see if he can put some real damage and hurt Spence with something.
Pawing jab out there for Errol Spence, as he has now outlanded Danny Garcia 76-52.
See, right now, you know, Danny's holding his ground right there. Errol gave up some ground and is backing up a little bit. That's where, you know, Garcia should really take advantage of that. You know, punch when Spence gives you the opportunity to do it.
He tried to get those body shots in on Garcia. He was able to block one of them, but a lot of those shots are getting through. Right-hand counter and a left-hand counter by Spence right away.
But Danny landed a good straight right.
Yeah, no doubt.
And then he landed a little looper around the gloves of Spence.
And then 8-1.
Yeah.
They're good exchanges here.
That's what makes this a great fight right now. It's kind of what we talked about the last round. Danny Garcia's got to hold his ground. He goes, you can't back up against a southpaw. It just won't work. And he's got to jump on him like we were talking about. He's got to do more and hold his ground more and land something of consequence.
We're in round number 7, and you see the punches landed right there. Let me just, I want to get this out, Joe. I'm not some slave to CompuBox, like that's how you decide to fight.
I didn't.
I'm just want to set that straight. But this is a guy who outlanded Mikey Garcia, who was a lightweight champion, 345-75. I'm just saying,
listen,
Spence really outlands his opponents.
Okay, we announced that fight, and I was there, and Mikey Garcia did not do a quarter of what he normally does in any fight. He was very intimidated by Errol Spence, and he fought a very defensive fight. That's why he didn't throw a lot of punches like he normally would.
Well, yeah, but
I agree with Joe there.
Well, what?
Don't
Spence, Spence outlanded him like 5-1 is what I'm saying. It's fact. Let's go to Larry Hazard. Larry, how do you have it?
I have it 59-55. I gave Danny Garcia the 5th round. Hey, look, guys, what Errol Spence is doing, if Danny hits him twice, he hits Danny 3 times.
Right.
This is what Errol Spence knows how to garner the judge's attention, and that's what it's all about. Exactly. If Danny can't get on top of Spence and take him into the trenches, he's going to lose this fight on points.
Yeah, well, it's just a situation where, you know, Spence throws a lot of punches around, and he's not stopping it. He's keeping up the volume. The volume is what is allowing him to win this fight.
Yeah, his work rate has been terrific, especially given the car accident, the year off, the shutdown, all of that. And he is right back to work, and he is aggressive, dedicated. Right hand there from Garcia, but he is relentless. And again, usually it gets more and more in his favor as the rounds go on.
And might I add, you know, Larry Hazard, I think, summed that up perfectly. That's why I call him the Professor Larry Hazard. It was right on point, and it's what the judges are seeing. He was a judge, he was a commissioner, he's done it all, and he knows that the judges are going to be duly impressed by Errol Spence and his pressure and his output right now.
You good?
Heads clashed there. Tom Taylor taking a good long look at both fighters, no cuts. Again, we're flying. Round 7, we're in the final minute already. So this it's dramatic. Yet it could be a clear points win, but we don't know just yet. Garcia, we wonder if he can slap it into another gear. We're getting into that territory where he might have to. And is he capable of throwing caution to the winds and coming in?
Yeah, this is where he should be doing some work, right here. Why not? The other stuff ain't going to work for you, and you could hear the desperation on Angel's, his dad Angel's voice in the corner. He knows he doesn't like what he's seeing here, and something else has got to change for Garcia, and that's what he's doing right there.
Danny is staying in the pocket now, and he's able to land that shot in the body shot. 2 right hands to the body in the final seconds of that round.
Get the focus.
Well, they knew it wasn't going to be easy. You know, when you're going up against Danny Garcia, you knew it was going to be tough. The good news is, now we're through 7. And Errol Spence Jr. looks like his old self. No ill effects from the car accident, from being thrown from his Ferrari. He has outlanded Danny Garcia 92-61, and he has just shown again that, you know, active jab, controlling range and distance, and an outstanding work rate as well. Garcia in the fight, but it appears he's being outboxed by Errol Spence.
Well, Errol Spence is just shadowing Danny Garcia along the ropes there. Garcia got off the ropes, he just turned around and came right at him. He's really applying the pressure in this round in particular. He's just getting a full head of steam right now. Even though Danny Garcia tried his best in that last round to offset some of this pressure, he's going to have to do more.
Garcia tries with the jab, goes in with the hook, lands a hook to the body.
Errol Spence looks like he's trying to get close to Danny Garcia to throw some type of left hand or left body punch.
He's already in range right there, and I don't know why he isn't letting his hands go a little bit more. His arrow's right there.
Well, it's just not his identity, I guess, Joe. I mentioned earlier, right, like with Sean Porter or Pacquiao or Thurman, like volume is there, pressure fighters, but that's not Danny Garcia's game.
Yeah, but Danny Garcia is waiting for Errol to commit himself. He's waiting for that one mistake so he can take advantage of it.
But he could be waiting all night and it never happened.
Yeah, he needs to create some openings for himself.
Spence is just too smart. I mean, that's right. That's not going to happen, and that was the big question coming in. Would you be able to take advantage of this guy? That's unlikely if he's 100%. And Spence looks 100%. Look at that jab. Beautiful work. Neither fighter has been knocked down as a professional. These guys are both mentally and physically tough. Spence, though, has made guys quit in the ring.
Yeah, look, Spence is really starting to put a lot of leather on Danny Garcia.
That was a good body shot as he exited. You can see that left eye for Danny Garcia starting to close up a little bit, taking a beating, and now he's pinned up against the ropes.
let me tell you a mistake that Danny's doing. He's allowing Spence to be first. Every time they come out of a clinch and go back, Errol Spence is the one that's starting the action and ending the action and starting the action again.
You can see Spence Lennox like just building momentum. You know, if Danny is going to stay stationary and not throw, Spence will just take over. He'll just smell that.
Yeah.
Doubles up on the jab and then throws a left to the body.
Yeah. When somebody's throwing a lot of combinations at you, mentally you just go into a defensive mode, and Danny's right into that defensive mode right now.
Able to clip it with a right hand and tries with the overhand right. That was just a lot of superb work.
I was going to say, Angel Garcia's got to be really sweating it in the corner right now.
I ask you, with the ref coming over and telling each corner that the other guy's got a cut, is that right?
Well, what he's telling them is that it was caused by a punch, not a headbutt, so don't complain about it. It's a legal punch, the cut's not caused by a headbutt, basically.
We're into round number 9, and Jordan Plant is there near Errol Spence's corner, and Derek James. Jordan?
Yeah, thanks, Brian. Derek, are you liking what you're seeing from Errol so far?
I am liking what I'm seeing. He's breaking him down. He's like, you take the fight out of him, basically, but he still has some fight in him. He's going to keep trying with the lucky shot, but just got to stay composed and stay focused.
Is there anything Danny's giving you guys that maybe you didn't expect?
No, we knew he had a heart. We knew he had the skills, but he never was able to get into the fight. The jab was the key to everything, and just keep popping with the jab. Listen, you got it.
Thanks, Coach. Brian, back to you.
Jordan, thank you. Look, and I think in the last round we saw Danny Garcia's energy on the wane for the first time, where the energy level just seemed
he was
lessened.
subdued. He was subdued.
Right.
You know, he's thinking about it. You know, there's a lot on his mind. Yeah, he's not hearing what he needs to do. Things are not happening for him that he wants to happen. You know, obviously he wants to catch Errol with some good punches, and he's not. The only way he's having success is to the body.
And Spence is just relentless. There's just such a good work rate.
Errol Spence has sapped a lot of energy out of Danny Garcia by the pressure he put on, by putting him on the defense, by making him sweat it out, because he's really a very dangerous guy in front of him, and he's landed a lot of punches on Danny Garcia. So, you know, there's a reason why Danny Garcia is a little hesitant, a little tired right now.
Good combination there by Garcia, able to land with at least one right hand, and Spence right back to work with a jab and a left hand. And you can see that eye is closing. I mean, he's doing damage to Garcia's face.
And look, you know, if I were Errol Spence and I were in his corner, and I think Derek James told him, I would just keep that relentless pressure on like he did the last couple of rounds. Don't even slow down here a bit, and, you know, try to go for the knockout. I mean,
But I tell you what,
he's capable of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I said. I said he's going to pressure him and he's going to go for the knockout, because he learned a lot of different things, especially from the Mikey Garcia fight, where he looked back at the fight and said, hey,
he let him off the hook.
Yeah, he let him off the hook, and he was supposed to, you know, do a lot more damage than he did.
Yeah. Well, against Sean Porter, that 11th and 12th round, he put the pedal to the metal. I mean, he got after it. He knocked down Sean Porter in the 11th, and in the 12th, he was going for the knockout. So he got after it.
He was going for the prize. The prize is the first one to knock out Sean Porter. That's what he was going for.
And look, that's why he's a pound-for-pound star. Look, and Terrence Crawford's in the audience, right? You've got everybody watching. The world is watching. And so far, it has been a marvelous performance.
A little puffy. That kind of, you know,
deters
you a little bit.
He looks beat up. I haven't seen him beat up. And look, Keith Thurman almost took his head off early in that fight. But I haven't seen Danny beaten down like this. Round 10 now in the final 3 rounds. Errol Spence has looked terrific. He's outlanded Danny Garcia, and a lot of the starch has come out of the challenger. Let's go back to Jordan Plant. She's with Angel Garcia. Go ahead, Jordan.
Angel, you were telling him he's given Spence too much confidence. What does he need to do to take that confidence back?
Well, I think Danny needs to pick it up a little bit. He's not. I mean, he's doing good, but he could do better.
What do you think it is that's making him not go as fast as you want?
Danny's a counterpuncher. He's waiting for the right shot, but I told him not to do it. I just hit him wherever you catch him.
Are you worried about the eye?
No, yeah, the eye's okay. The eye's just a little bump. The eye's good.
All right.
It's part of boxing.
Thanks, Coach.
See, his father knows that he's a counterpuncher, and he's waiting for that opportunity. But sometimes you got to make that opportunity happen.
Yeah, look, they knew that going in. I mean, they had to know that going in. Against the guy the level of Spence, that you weren't going to be able to sit back and make him pay. Errol isn't going to sit there, you know, and take a picture after he lands on you.
Now it's odd why, I don't know why Errol's backing up there. I mean, he's got a lot of energy left. He hasn't taken a lot of punches in this fight. And I just think he should be pressing Danny. Why let him back in the fight to do this to you? I'd be a little irritated if I were Derek James in the corner. Why give him a break? Why give him any chance to get momentum going?
When you're just breaking him down, right? And his only shot is to land something really hard and maybe stun him, put him down. We haven't seen him really close to that in this fight.
But you could tell Angel's very disappointed right now. He knows it's been a difficult fight. Errol Spence has really brought his A game tonight. And, you know, Danny's got to be in great shape to take some of the punches he's taken and to hang in there as much as he had. But, you know, if Danny wants to do anything, he's got to land something very substantial, something that'll turn the fight around. Like that.
Oh, that's a right hand. That landed flush on Spence. Quick right hand from Danny Garcia.
Yeah, but
Danny
did the right thing. He took a step over to the left and threw the right hook.
Did it again there, partially blocked perhaps.
Yeah, when you do things like that, you know, you're throwing a punch where a guy doesn't you're throwing a punch where, you know, it's coming from a different angle where a boxer's not expecting.
Garcia trying to turn this around, but he's going to have to do much more. Yeah. Just thought we had a chance there as you see Spence covering up. And again, normally, and you watch a lot of Errol Spence fights, it gets worse and worse for his opponent as the rounds go on, and he just doesn't change a bit. It's a beautiful look right there at AT&T Stadium, and the fans still buzzing, fans back in this building, and a virtuoso performance so far by the champion.
Yeah.
Listen for that bell, gentlemen. Listen for the bell.
Final seconds here. Let's go on what Angel Garcia, what Sean was talking about before the fight. Now, Angel Garcia saying, hey, we're not running, we'll do everything in the pocket, we'll control the pace. And we all, I think, collectively wondered, hey, do you think that's going to be enough to beat this guy? And take a look, Larry Hazard has only given, well, 2 rounds. All right, 7th round as well to Danny Garcia, so that's 2 rounds. Sean might have 4. So that's a little bit closer, but it has been Errol Spence's night tonight.
Yeah, Errol Spence has been consistent and persistent with his punches.
You notice Errol isn't backing up this round. He came out because he probably heard something from Derek James in the corner, like, what are you doing? You know, letting the guy back in the fight, or even winning a round there, maybe, possibly. You go back out there, you got 6 minutes left, 2 rounds, 6 minutes, finish the fight strong, and see if you can take him out or just win it decisively.
Good combination by Spence there. It's a hard thudding left-handed shot. As he resets his feet, circles over to his right, gets the angle he's looking for against Garcia. Right hand lands by Garcia. That was a hard shot. Now a hard shot. Those are hard right hands.
They were blocked, and you know, Errol Spence is doing the right thing, keeping his hands up. It's always dangerous in these last rounds.
Right on the belt line from Errol Spence, able to land to the body. I mean, he's just so consistent with his shots. And
Errol Spence is a machine tonight against a really good counter-puncher, smart, high IQ fighter in Danny Garcia. And he's really taken away all of his best tools from Garcia with his pressure, his relentlessness, and his combination punching. Errol Spence is back.
Joe, you think Danny Garcia should be jabbing with Spence at the same time?
Well, you know, look, it's always difficult to jab with a southpaw. You know, sometimes it's hard enough just to kind of stop it and parry those jabs from a guy like Errol Spence. But yeah, I mean, usually advantage goes to a southpaw when it comes to the jabbing duel.
Desperation time now for Danny Garcia. Only 4 minutes left in this fight. We're going to go into the corner and listen to both corners, but also Angel Garcia, and see what they try to do. Again, he is staring at an 0 for 3 at the welterweight champions. It's at a career-defining fight. There was so much at stake, so much to gain for Danny Garcia, but it's a tall order against Errol Spence.
Just goes to show you how great Sean Porter was, because he was neck and neck with the
whole night. Yep.
You know, and it really came down to that 11th round. And let me just tell you something, Sean was in that fight and could have won it himself.
Yeah, and even could have gone either way, even with the knockdown. You're absolutely right, Joe. Final seconds here, round 11.
And let me tell you, Sean Porter threw a lot of punches in that fight, you know. Errol Spence really got Sean Porter to really throw everything.
Body shot landed there by Garcia. right hand from Garcia.
Yeah, he did.
Spence went down to look at his feet or something. Not sure what that was. What happened to something to the mouthpiece? And in the corner for Errol Spence, Derek James saying, "Do not play with him."
Keep it nice and clean.
Right. In other words, go back out there and from to the last second, keep on working like you are, like the pro you are, like the champ you are. Don't mess around and play any games because it could be dangerous.
But Joe, I didn't hear anything from Angel Garcia that would, anything specific that would work.
No, he hasn't given him anything specific.
Well,
I think all the information was given ahead of time.
Oh, good right hook by Spence.
Spence coming in now hard. That landed, and Garcia probably more difficult to see with that eye closed.
In all fairness, on Angel's part, look, he's given it his
Punches and a guy's skill level changes all of that.
Well, do you think he had the right game plan, Lennox?
No, I didn't.